Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn history, today Polynesia, and after we've done that, we're going to do leg injury prevention training. And if you participate in the leg injury prevention training, this was at your own risk. This is part 2 of Polynesia. Now, what do we want to say? First, the region, I think we did 2 parts in the middle. We did one about maritime studies, where we focused onto the outriggers, onto the ship, onto the boat, and we did another one about sculpture studies, and then we made the part about the Maoris, as I mentioned at the end of the history part from later. Now, we're going to mention the thing about the outrigger boats, how they are built, that they have sticks to the outsides, and then these floating objects to make them more stable, to make them easier pulling the shore, and to use them in shallow water. And for Maoris, they are standing with a status called ahus. 600 of them, and some of them are 12 meters high and weighing 90 tons. Done with stone tools because they had no metal. Okay. Polynesians are the people who live on many islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. From Hawaii, so Hawaii is also Polynesia, or people of Polynesia. The new Polynesians moved onto Hawaii and East Islands. Okay, from Hawaii to Eastern Islands and New Zealand. Hawaii, Easter Island, and New Zealand. There are 10,000 islands in Polynesia, and the rest of the Eastern Pacific, and there are total over 10,000 islands. And there are hundreds of different cultures and languages. Each of these islands has their own history, or the cultures and languages, And okay, there are 10,000 and hundreds of languages and cultures with their own history. That makes sense if someone develops their own culture and language with their own history. There are hundreds of different cultures and languages, and each of them have their distinct or individual history of their own. And the whole Polynesia and the besettling and the settling onto the Polynesian islands started probably 40,000 years ago when people came from Southeast Asia. And then around 2,000 years ago, more people moved eastwards from the Fiji, Samoa and Tonga Islands, they were already eastwards of New Zealand, to the Marcus Islands. And they brought with them seeds, or crops, coconut, jam, taros and breadfruit. I haven't paid a second attention to coconut. Coconut is not cacao, but it's coconut. These are the things on the palms, these heavy brown fruits with a heart finger with these 3 eyes or whatever they are. They are not cacao, these are coconuts. Do we here say that on all of the Polynesian islands no coconuts were growing until the people from Southeast Asia brought them there? 2,000 years ago. Coconuts, jams, I don't know what jams are. Taros and breadfruit, I don't know more. Jams, taros and breadfruit. Coconut, jams, taros and breadfruit. But also animals like chickens and pig. They developed their own style of wood carving. And we're going to do it together. They developed art, they did different types of wood carving, and the people on the Eastern Islands, they then moved on 400 after Christ to Hawaii and Eastern Island. They then did on the Eastern Islands these Maoris. And these are Maoris, these are these stones, they just 12 meters 90 tons, 600 of them standing on ahus with stone, because we had no metal tools. And then they're setting with small level canoes and outriggers. So we have all information here. They brought coconuts and breadfruit and taros and jams. How should someone pronounce that letter? Jams at the beginning of the jams. Coconuts, jams, taros and breadfruit. The dates are 40,000 and then 2,000 to the marks. I will have to look it up in the volume. And then 400 for the rest. Okay, let's take a look where the Marquis Island, Marks. Marks Island, but let's see a little bit more. Okay, they are north of Poland, of French Poland. Where are they? I have a single version of stuff. Let's take a little moment for the structure again. So Polynesia, the region, and we move with 10,000 islands, bringing these things waited when these statues were used outriggers. And they still use them. Okay, let's just try it if we can just repeat it with no structure. Polynesia. Polynesia, the whole region of Polynesia, let's look at that for a moment. Polynesians are the people who live on the main islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, from Hawaii to Easter Islands and New Zealand. There are 10,000 islands in Polynesia, and the rest of the Eastern Pacific. If we say Polynesia, maybe that is a country and that is clear, just these islands, and not Hawaii, not these. Let's just say it. Polynesia. Polynesia is a region with over 10,000 islands, from New Zealand next to Australia up to Hawaii in the center of the Pacific Ocean, and also further East Islands. Polynesia. Polynesia is basically in the center of the Pacific Ocean, and it ranges from Hawaii, basically in the middle between Asia and Northern America, to the eastern islands a bit more south, up to New Zealand and east of Australia. And there are over 10,000 islands, and there are hundreds of different languages and cultures, and with their own history, many of them. And these people moved there probably 40,000 years ago, started to come the first people from Southeast Asia onwards, and then they started to settle then on these islands, and then 2,000 years ago they started to go from Fiji and Samoa and Tonga, already east of New Zealand, out more eastward. And then 400 after Christ, they got even more eastward to Hawaii and the Eastern Islands. And they did that in double canoes and in outriggers. Outriggers, these are boats with sticks to the outside and then another floating object on both sides, so that they have more stability and that they can be easier pulled on shore, and they are perfectly to drive them in shallow water. Now, and they developed art. They were doing on many different islands woodworks, but maybe the thing which I have the most to say about is that on the eastern islands the people did the moais. And these moais, these are statues, 600 are there of them. Some are up to 12 meters high and weighing 90 tons. They are out of stone, done with stone tools because they had no metal. And they're just standing there around, and the platform on which they're standing is called a house. And when they came over, they brought coconuts, seeds, and they brought taurus and gems and breadfruit, and also animals like pigs and sheep. And that is according to Miles Kell's World History, page 96 and 97. It was a bit chaotic. What did we do wrong? A second wave of migrants moved east from Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga to the Marcus Island. I stayed broad there. I didn't specify exactly when and what happened, so I don't think we said it wrong. And maybe it's even easier to say it just and then all the time. I think that the way I said it was not wrong. I noticed that I forgot it and paid attention to it. I think we're going to take it. We're going to do so many more presentations and learn from it at what degree chaotism is a problem and becomes an actual problem, and to what degree it might be helpful to learn the things, because just facts to learn down is very difficult, but maybe with a little broader a few explanations in the middle, maybe a bit degree of chaotism is maybe good. So I'm going to stop with the second camera. And that was the history part to Polynesia. If you go here for history Polynesia, you can go to the next part of history, and we'll do the next thing. We will do now the leg injury prevention training. If you stay and participate in the leg injury prevention training, it's better your own risk. We are starting with one leg up in the air, both legs forward, and for swinging it from the side. And the other leg to the side. And now, again with the legs foot in front and back. and lift the other foot, front and back. And next exercise, pineapple curl. One leg up, breathe in. Breathe out, leg to the side. Breathe again in. Out into the middle and down. Another time, breathe in, leg up. Out to the side. Again in. Out into the middle and down. Now the other leg up. Out to the side. Again in. Out into the middle and down. And again, leg up. Out to the side. Again in. Out into the middle and down. And now the direction buoy, leg up. Yes, the hands out and bring the hands out to the side. And out of the other side. And now the confused direction buoy, hands over and also the leg this time over. And change both to the outside, leg and hands. To the middle and the other leg. Leg up. The outside in front of the hands and go with the hands out to one side. To the middle and out to the other side. And to the middle. And now both to the outside. Uppercut. And change both directly to the outside. And to the middle and to the top. And now next exercise. Good standing leg. And one leg up. And turn over towards the standing leg as far as it goes. Then go down a bit into the knee. This exercise can go a bit over the knee. So do it on this. Over to the other side. And up again. Down. Another one. Stand over the leg. Turn over as fast as you can. Go a bit down. The other side over. Up again. With the other leg. Turn towards the standing leg. Go a bit down. Over to the other side. Up again. And another one. Over to the side of the leg. And down. Go to the other side. Another clock. Good standing leg. And bring the leg with the heel in front. Water in front. To the inside. And to the other side. Both directions. And over the line. To the inside. And now the same with the leg. Front. The inside and over the other side, back and quarter in, and now the pet. One leg points with the toes to the outside, other leg with the heel onto the ground and lift the heel off the ground and place it again on the ground. And the feet over here. And now the stamp, leg up and down. And the other leg. One last exercise for horse. The leg in and out. Again, in and out. The other leg in. And we're ending with a trunk igniter. Legs spread apart, breathe it in, go out. And breathe out. Out. Breathe in, cross the legs. And breathe out. At the pause with leg injury prevention training. I thank you very much and have a nice time.